Hi there, Capricorn. Welcome to your monthly reading. I'd like to start off today with a quick note on formats. I am going back to the old format that I've been doing for several years here on YouTube. I received a lot of comments and suggestions last month, all of which were greatly appreciated. Most of them were saying that you really missed the cards and that you also wanted longer readings each month. So I'm going back to that, even though there's a lot more production that goes into that. I realize that's what is resonating with everyone. So I'll be using cards throughout the entire reading. I'll be showing everything. Again, just a reboot of the old. Just so that you know, though, what I was trying to accomplish. I wanted to try and bring a little bit more of an intuitive flow through the reading, really try and keep it more concise and give you something that would feel like a one-on-one reading, because a lot of times if you ever read with an intuitive, you're not going to go through every card. You need answers to your questions. So I realized this was probably just not the right time or the right format to make that shift, so thanks for your feedback. I was happy, however, to hear that you enjoyed the Intuitive Development series, so I'll be continuing with that. There's going to be at least a couple more videos in that series in the next month or so. I'll be doing a crystals video and a Q&A, so more details when those materialize. Also, based on all of the feedback about cards, I'm actually going to start to do some reviews of my favorite ones, and perhaps even if some of you want me to review decks, I may ask for that in the future as well. Just one more thing before we get started. If you really like all of the new content that I've been putting into this site and appreciate the extra energy that goes into creating 25 to 30-minute videos each month for each sign, so that's times 12, and you'd like to give back, there are two ways you can do it. The free and easy way is simply just to like, subscribe, and share the video. Really helps keep this channel healthy and alive. And if you would like to really help me buy new supplies and have enough time to actually do the videos, then supporting me with as little as $1 can make a big difference. And the second link below this video will allow you to do that. I'll discuss it a little bit more at the end, but I know not everyone listens, so I just wanted to highlight that as a way that you can help keep this channel alive and kicking. Now let's get into your channeled information. Every month, as I select a deck of cards and meditate, I either receive a visual download or I engage in some automatic writing. I did a little bit of both this month, and what I saw for you was a scarab beetle coming through, which for me is a sign of rebirth, regeneration, reminds me of ancient Egypt. And what I inferred from that was that this month was going to provide second chances where, particularly I would say like with business, with money, anywhere where in the past you may have had some failures or some lack of progress, you get a second chance this month. There's going to be more fertile ground because that same symbol, the scarab beetle, is also a sign of fertility and of growth. So an additional piece to this is if you've been kind of stuck in your life and you're looking to try new things, this is a chance to do that. If you're trying to add to your family or to your life, this is also a very fertile time for all of that. So creation is really the main message that was coming through when I channeled your sign. Let's look at the cards and see what additional insights they yield. And I know you guys are excited to see this come back. So let me turn the camera down, give this a good shuffle. And at this point, I always like to remain quiet just to observe the flow of the cards just like you. Additionally, I pull a card that I call a catalyst to add additional insight into how everything is connected. Also kind of give you insight in how to best access the energy of the month. Your card this month is the whale here, and it's sort of a gentle giant. One thing that is coming through is that sort of submissive quality of the whale, and unlike the shark, which is very aggressive, very visible, you see the teeth, the whale, very calm, really doesn't eat other big animals. It's usually like plankton and small things. So what I want you to think of this month is there a way that you could be a little bit more visible, a little bit more straightforward, and let people know that you have a lot to offer, that you're just as powerful, just as knowledgeable, just as deserving of a seat at the table, whatever that table may be. It could be equal representation at work, it could be respect in a relationship, it could be reciprocity in a friendship. I feel that many of you are carrying a bigger burden or more more of the sort of burden on your shoulders than perhaps people around you. And this month, you don't have to do that anymore. And that's really what the whale is reminding you. You have a presence, you have a purpose, and sometimes you have to remind people that they can't just push you over. And so this month, show your power, but in a way that isn't sort of argumentative or anything. You can just simply say no. You can remind them of all the work that you've been doing and gently ask for their assistance and say, I really think it's your turn now. I've been doing this, this, and this, so I'm going to leave this with you. Call me if you have questions. There's a lot of ways you can do it where the other person kind of before they have a chance to react, it's already done. So I want you to exert your power in a way that feels comfortable, but also allows people to recognize you as deserving, as worthwhile, as strong and powerful, which is what I'm seeing with this card. I'm going to turn the camera down now and we'll take a quick look at the cards, and then I'll go one by one so that we can get a really detailed view of the month. As I look at all the cards, my attention's drawn right here towards the center because this is where most of the major arcana cards are located. We have a Hermit card crossed by the Tower with Temperance in the crowning position. So there's this need for a shift of power, which I was kind of talking about in the catalyst and also in the channeled information. And I feel like that happens rather quickly and then things even off. So let's go card by card and I'll give more insight into each. We'll start again with your central card here, which is the Hermit card in reverse. This is coming out of a period of isolation, sometimes a feeling of being in the dark, and also maybe kind of flying under the radar. So as we were seeing with that gentle giant here, the whale, it's your turn to emerge, to show people that you exist. And you think of whale watching where, they're under the surface and all of a sudden come out and really show everything. This is your chance to kind of surprise people, take them by surprise. And that's what the Tower is. Redefine what your role is in your life, in relationships, across the board. This can also indicate a move for some of you, a move in location and job, power, status, etc. So a big shift that I see happening, or a potential for a shift towards the beginning of the month. The way you're going to do this is through simply making your voice, making your presence known. We have the Ace of Swords, communication, action. And for some of you, again, this could be a very well planned out move. We have the Seven of Swords. There are two ways you can look at this. One, it can sort of be a tricky card. The other one is that it can be utilizing the element of surprise. Let's go for the higher frequency view of this, which is if you can time things correctly this month, you can really use that to your benefit. Like if you're looking for a house, if you put the bid on first and it's good enough, you might be able to get what you want. For looking for a job, it's also about timing, knowing the right person, getting it in there and having everything sort of move. So I want you to meditate this month, really feel it from a heart and soul perspective, and when something feels right, just go for it. Don't think too much, especially if it's something that you've kind of been building up to and working up to for a while. I feel like with that Hermit card, some of you may have overthought situations in the past. This is a month to just bring it to action and release it, and that's why the Tower is on top of it. Once this happens, we have this really beautiful balance card here, which is also Temperance. I actually like this illustration more because it's showing your ability now to sort of be a channel of light, to allow for energy and opportunities to kind of flow through you. And you see her connection to the earth here, and I really think that's beautiful. So one thing that you might want to practice is grounding. I have a little garden right outside of where I work here with pots and things. So I go outside and I try to keep my hands in the earth or earth elements, and it's really helpful. Even if you're in an apartment like I am, this can be a way to stay grounded. So spend time outside or with plants or with nature and allow for some of that tranquility to come within your energy system. It's going to help quite a bit. Now, one thing you want to be mindful of this month is we have Five of Cups here. This is a card where you can either focus on positive changes and opportunities, or you can kind of exist within what wasn't working. You can kind of sit there and think, you know what, this, it's never worked out, it's always not happening, and you kind of pull yourself down energetically. So I'm encouraging you this month to focus on some things that have worked, and if you're not happy with where you're at, what you can do to get to the next step. All about proactive and possibilities, not about the past. Focus on now and the future and where and how you can kind of get yourself closer to the goal that you have in mind. To do so, open-mindedness is necessary. Also, for some of you, I really encourage exercise. This is the second sign this month that has shown this sort of disconnect between being able to speak and do what you want and sort of being stuck and not being able to express yourself. I'm going to give you similar advice that I gave the other sign that had this sort of two-card standoff, if you will. And that is to find ways to let out the energy, the pent-up energy. Dance, exercise, writing, talking to someone, a friend, a therapist, etc. But letting things kind of get out. And then more importantly, the same way you want others to listen to you, this could just be a big ear card too, because sometimes when the Ace of Wands is in reverse, you have a hard time opening up. Once you take in the feedback or see the opportunities, then you can take action. And we have the Queen of Wands, which for me in your environment card is fantastic. In elements or areas of work or anything in your life that requires being organized and getting things put together, this card is showing that you can do it. A perfect month to go around and change things in your house, to take on a big project at work, to plan a trip, anything that requires just a lot of moving parts. You're going to be able to manage it this month if you decide to embrace that. I think it would be nice for you to plan a vacation, because when I'm looking here in the hopes and the dreams area, we have the Four of Swords, something I've seen across many signs. I feel like you're overdue for rest, knowing also that rest allows you to recharge, to come up with new ideas. Some of the best pieces of insight, of intuition, come to me through dreams or through just sort of when I'm walking the dog or relaxing at night. After I've done all of my work, suddenly I start to think about things and it comes to me. So I want you to kind of allow for some playtime, some relaxation, some sort of a trip. Rest and relaxation in particular are very, very important, particularly because this is attached to the Nine of Swords card, which here is showing perhaps an inability to get as much rest as you need, worrying about worst case scenarios, when in fact your crowning card is showing that things are okay and you need to get back to that place where you feel kind of balanced and even. So where there exists no balance in your life this month, try to create it. Don't be afraid to make a splash either. That's one thing that I'm seeing with this. All right, let's now expand your forecast. We'll take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny and see how that applies to you this month. Let's take a look now at your health card. Health includes, of course, mind, body, and spirit. We'll see what your message is this month. So we have the heart chakra. And let's go ahead and take a closer look at this card. For this, of course, this is about opening up your heart space and also taking care of your heart health. We'll talk first about opening up the space. For some of you, this is just about perhaps denying yourself the chance to have fun. Earlier, I was looking at the Four of Swords, which was about rest and relaxation. The other thing that I'm just gently noting here is that there is not enough cups cards. We have one, and it's sort of a card that shows an inability to kind of see the joyful side or to have fun. So what I want you to do is to, more than once this month, I would try to do it once a week, pick a night and just treat yourself to something self-indulgent. Maybe it's a bath, maybe it's a movie, maybe it's doing something with friends, whatever it is that you just would normally deny yourself. Once a week, celebrate how hard you're working, take advantage of the fact that you have this time and do something special with it. Nurturing yourself is going to bring you into a place where your heart opens, where you feel more joy, where the endorphins kind of release. Exercise is also good if you enjoy it, but do something that's fun and that feeds you, and that'll be a great way to open this space. Other things, if you're kind of stuck for ideas, again, writing, art, doing any sorts of crafts, something creative that brings you joy that is also kind of moving your body would be great. Now on to the other part of this, which is to take care of your heart health. Eating lower sodium food, lower cholesterol food, working out, of course checking with the doctor to make sure before you do any sort of changes in your exercise routine, but it does feel like you need to put a little extra TLC in your heart and lungs area, I would say, and also just with creatively opening up the heart space. So give that a try, see what shifts you have this month, and hopefully this will bring you into a place where you're feeling happier, healthier, and more balanced. Let's look now at wealth. Wealth, of course, is not just money, but your self-respect, your self-confidence, your relationship with money and how you're spending it, and then of course the opportunities that flow in with money. So let's see what's coming through with wealth. Your wealth card this month is Union. And it's interesting because we haven't seen a lot of cards about love. It feels like some of the energy could be going into your workspace this month, and it might be more about work partnerships for many of you. But for me, the Union card is a cooperative card, a partnership card. So with money this month, don't be afraid to reach out and work with somebody or ask someone for help, because there's going to be strength and power in numbers, and you may also gain insights that on your own would have been difficult to kind of figure out. So it's an important time to work in a group. Let's go ahead now and look at love and see what the message is for relationships. You know, as I kind of glance back at the spread here, there hasn't been a lot about love this month. It was much more a developmental sort of spread. So I'm really interested, and we'll try to go a little bit deeper in this card and see if it can yield some information on how you can maximize love and relationships this month. So your message this month is, joy is the ultimate creator. And I love the illustration on this, or the calligraphy, I should say. And I also think that kind of underlines what I was saying a moment ago with the heart space. And these three kind of tell a story here if you look at them. We first have the heart chakra card here, which is unlocking your passion, helping your heart beat more, feel more alive. Then we have this Union card here, which is all about partnerships. And then we ultimately come to this one, which is to have fun. And so if you're feeling stagnation in friendships and in love, then this month, do something fun. The only important thing here is that it's fun. I gave you a bunch of examples earlier, but really it's just you and you alone that can make that decision. One final note on this. It's interesting that it's not so much about who you're with, but simply that you're existing in a place of love and joy. That's the message for relationships this month. If you're already in one, do something that takes it out of the sort of quote unquote work phase. Sometimes when we get into relationships and we've been in them for a while, it just sort of feels like a routine. We tell the other person what to do, they tell us what to do. Why not plan something enjoyable, be playful, get back to that fun? And if you're alone and either happy or unhappy about it, this is more about finding activities in your life that will possibly create new opportunities for you to meet people. So do something you love. Maybe you'll find someone else that loves that too, and you can connect. But the only thing that matters is that there is something that is enjoyable, because if you're not in that place of openness, of happiness, then it's hard to sort of attract someone, because they're going to feel this sense of kind of being a little bit lower frequency. So the joy, the happiness, the playfulness is going to raise your frequency. Let's look at your destiny card now. Destiny, of course, is something that you can shift, at least in respect to this spread. This is your chance to sort of check on your GPS, see if you like the trajectory in which you're headed, and course correct if not. So we have a frequency shift here. And I think that's really the story of all of the extended forecast. I'm going to do a review in a moment, but I'm kind of doing a mini review right now. All of this is about bringing you to a place of happiness. And if you notice, most of the colors here are green and blue. So green being the true color of the heart space, blue being communication, but also kind of bringing us up into the third eye as well, because there's a little bit of both here, blue and indigo. So I want you to really focus on these 3 or 4 chakras here, feeling it, speaking it, seeing it, and then even perceiving it beyond that. That's where the shift is going to happen this month for you. It's this frequency shift that we saw here in the catalyst. So I'm already starting the review. So why don't I do the review and we'll kind of see a full picture now. This was really important though to give us context to what's going on here. I now see that it's important to kind of have this shift of energy and shift of understanding this month for things to start to also change in your life. When we review your channeled information, it was that scarab beetle, which is what I saw first, and then a message of rebirth and regeneration, that you could create second chances or a new sort of portal through which you could try things again or kind of renew your opportunities. And part of this is involving just making a splash this month, letting people see and recognize you for the powerful, wonderful human being that you are, because I feel like you've been sort of pulling your energy back a little bit, or maybe it's even been on a subtle level and you haven't realized it. So as we look at deep past, really engaging with the throat chakra. That's what we were seeing with the frequency shift here. It's the color of the throat and also even the third eye. So I want you to focus on really trusting your intuition and allowing yourself to be seen and heard. Coming out of that position of blending in, being a wallflower, changing things up, taking people by surprise. This was also the surprise element, so we have 2 shift cards there happening. Then, once that happens, you actually are much more in control here. Temperance is great. It's neither in the background nor right in the forefront. It's right in the middle, which might be very comfortable for many of you. But notice how this woman is more in control of her power, and that's really what I think you could be this month if you allow this to happen. The frequency shift also has to happen in your thought process, embracing the cups being half full, not what's been spilled here on the side. Listening, really allowing for people to tell their truths, their stories, also making sure that if you need someone to talk to, that happens. Opening up your channel, both on a metaphysical and then also on a physical level, is going to be really important. Then you're going to have what it takes to manage things effectively. And that's really the opportunity this month, is to take control, to take back control if you want to. After you sort of get things on track, I want you to take a vacation or plan a trip or rest a little bit more, because this is going to help you from kind of going down the rabbit hole here and worrying about unnecessary things. Focus on quality of sleep. It's really important. Something that I've talked to other signs about as well. I'm going to quickly review this because we talked about it already. For health, focus on your heart health and also your heart chakra. Feeling things, letting this space open up, allowing yourself to trust. And this is going to spill over in work. And for some of you, you might actually end up meeting someone that you love at work, because to me, this is almost like a 2 of Cups card. And so although we're in the wealth sector, it's showing a possibility for love at work. Be careful with that, but if it's natural and it's not causing any conflicts of interest, there is a chance for love there. As we look at the actual love card here, it's more about doing things that bring a sense of joy and happiness to you. So this is going to help you across all areas of your life: your health, your money, and then ultimately your love. And again, your money and your love may be somewhat intertwined this month. Then when we look at your destiny, it's actually more about letting people hear, see, and feel you, because it's here in the communication channel, which really has a lot to do with these cards that we talked about already. So really some exciting opportunities for you this month to be seen, to reclaim energy, and to have a second chance at accomplishing things that you want in your life, particularly if you want to step up to a leadership opportunity or start a family, because all of these things are kind of interrelated here. So pick what it is that brings passion and joy in your life and make room for it, okay? So that brings this monthly reading to a close, but hopefully you got the insight and the information that you need to travel through this month with a sense of empowerment. And if you ever want to talk a little bit more in depth about something going on in your life, whether it's a relationship or a change of job or whatever might be coming along, I am here for you, and I'd be happy to chat about that with you. Just to schedule an appointment, however, you'll have to click the first link right underneath the video, and you can look at rates and availability there. The second link shows you how you can give back to this channel. At the beginning, I told you a little bit about what goes into making all of these videos. I know they're only 25 to 30 minutes for you, but you can multiply that by 3 or 4 for me, because there's a lot of production and preparation that goes into it. And then multiply that by 12. So I do a lot each month, just sort of for free. And if you want to give back and feel like you'd like more content, the best way to do that is to click that donate button, and you can do $1, like I said, once or in a recurring format. Really helps me, and it makes a big impact on this channel. Additionally, I encourage you to join me across social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, of course, as well as YouTube. and I have a newsletter. All of those links are contained within that third link. So feel free to connect with me, and I look forward to seeing you there. Finally, and I would say most importantly, I like to end my videos with gratitude. And it's heartfelt gratitude for the work that you're doing on yourselves. I think that we're in a point right now in the world where we really need people to be awake, to be working on cultivating light rather than embracing shadow. And the fact that you guys are showing up every single month to learn more about yourself, to develop your skills, just like I've been doing in the developmental series, this is going to make a great impact on the world. And it's a great way that we can actually shift the tide. And it's no accident that this month you got the card here that shows that ability, this power that's sort of been untapped, if you will. So I want you to tap into your power this month. And even this card has that green heart chakra energy and the blue for communication. So don't be afraid to show who you are, to do things that you love, to really embrace all of those higher frequency energies that are going to make you stand out, be powerful, and make a difference. I'm going to end on that note and say thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. I'll be back next month. Thanks again.